Good morning, everyone. Okay, so do you have any idea why the firecracker went to therapy? No, because it said it just didn't feel like I'm sparking the joy anymore. Aw. Anybody else feel that way some days, right? It's like, come on, where'd all that joy go? Well, today we're going to light that fire up again. So get ready. The quote of Eric Butterworth that Dee Dee shared this morning is the basis for the talk today. Because it just, for me, it truly is a treasure map of how we can live our lives. And he wrote that, the first time he wrote this was in the book, Discover the Power Within, which was published in 1968. So if it was published in 68, he was writing it before then, right? So here's an idea of what was going on then. Because back in the 60s, there was some stuff going on in the 60s, right? There was a lot of cultural and political upheaval in this country. So the civil rights movement was at its height. In fact, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 68. The Vietnam War was really escalating, and people were not happy about that. There was a lot of protests breaking out on college campuses and on the streets. In the 60s, we had the political assassinations of JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., as I said, and Robert F. Kennedy. That's a lot of assassinations. There were riots at the Democratic Convention in Chicago. Women's rights were flaring up for a second time. I mean, women were not happy about a lot of things. So there was this cultural revolution underway. There was a rise for free speech, free movement. Eastern spirituality and meditation started coming around, right? There was just a whole lot going on. Americans, we were seeking meaning, we were seeking truth, we were seeking stability, we wanted our voices to be heard. It was really a crazy time. And in the midst of all of this, Eric Butterworth wrote this really important book. And he said, "Don't look outside for peace, truth, or salvation. You go within. There is a divine presence within you. Trust it, learn from it." So, sometimes we think, what's mine to do? I can't just do nothing. Well, spiritual sovereignty is not nothing. It is action. It is not escapism. It is action. To stay centered in the truth no matter what's going on anywhere, in our world, in the world, it's not looking away, but it's just the opposite. It's staying centered. It is turning away from despair and division and going back to our truth, our fundamental truth. That we can change our world by changing our consciousness. And that right there is ours and ours alone, because no one else can do that for us. So, let's take a walk through this wonderful excerpt of Butterworth, shall we? So there is something within us that can lead us and direct us if we will let it. It is that spark. It is that presence. It is that piece of truth that we're going to have up on the screen in a minute. Okay, it's that. It's that right there. But the key line in this is if we will let it. Right? if we will let it, because when we get ready to let it, we have to kind of surrender. Surrender to our truth. Surrender and become willing to allow it to guide us. We have to get to that place where we don't need to control anything. We don't need to force it. We just get to allow it to express through us, to us. It opens us up to that place of empowerment, to claiming what is ours, which is joy in all forms. And it is not something that's without action. It is full of action, but it's all inward action. Then he goes on and says, it's higher than the thought of any man. That, to me, is a declaration of humility and trust, right? It's about getting over my worries and my fears and my opinions and my judgment. It's about stepping away from that and going to that higher order within me. That is the real truth. The real, honest, to Betsy truth. You know, we call it intuition, we call it inspiration, we call it a lot of things. But the one thing I do know is that that level of elevated wisdom, when we are at that place, we are above fear and we are above confusion and we are above question. And we get to choose to do that. Holmes said, the divine is not a far-off God, but the very presence of spirit in you, ever available, ever loving. It is not distant. We don't have to wait for it. We don't have to have a special time for it or a position or any of that. Just like this. Think about it. He goes on to say, it has nothing to do with creed, profession, confession, or the restriction of theological dogmas. It's radically inclusive. The power within us is totally inclusive. And the only way there's walls put up is if we choose to put them up. We have everything we need to love everybody, to be one with all of it, to love it, to appreciate it, to respect it, without having to understand it. But sometimes we just want to understand it, right? We want to understand it. We want to fix it. We want everybody to think like me and walk like me. But that isn't the way the world's ever been, nor is it supposed to. And the reason why is because spirit is unbound. It's universal. It doesn't care about one's beliefs or one's background. Truly. And because we're all one, there's a part of us that should be able to say, yes, my beloved. It is in the integrity of our own mind, in the silence of our own soul, that we find the immediate presence of divine being inhabiting us and the universe. Alignment and stillness. David, that song was perfect. Alignment and stillness. It's about being willing to be quiet. Instead of trying to figure out what we're supposed to do, it's about being quiet. Keeping our own good company and allowing that good company, allowing that sanctuary within to just keep us company, to be our main company. It's about our thoughts and our words and our actions being in harmony with the highest and best of who we are here to be. It is a presence within which every great thinker has sensed, which all poets have sung about, and all great spiritual teachers have proclaimed. from Plato to Rumi, from Buddha, Jesus, they all acknowledge this inner presence. They all acknowledge love. They all acknowledge oneness. Think about it. We are standing on the shoulders of greatness. This isn't any great revelation, right? This isn't a new path to walk. This is like a well-traveled road that we get the opportunity to travel on. Behind greatness, behind those who went before us. We get to travel down this path that our ancestors went down. And we have decided that we're doing it consciously, aware of our empowerment, aware of who and whose we are. We are told to repair our own mind, get away from the objective confusion and struggle of life, and enter into this secret place. This secret place is really not a secret. It is within. It is our own personal sanctuary. We get to go there. We get to go there and step away from the humanness and step into the divinity that we all are. And then we get to go out in the world and express from that place. Plus, we are so liberated. We enter it directly. We don't need a guide. We don't need a meditator. Nothing stands between us and our good. Nothing stands between us and our God. Nothing stands between us and our harmony with life. Nothing. There is nothing that can keep us from it, and there is no power that withholds it. Any barriers that we have are just illusions, if you think about it. If we are embracing that divine within, how could there be fear or worry or doubt? How can be there anything but courage and a sense of well-being and a sense of knowing of the light that we bring to the world? He goes on. I should have had you move a couple of slides ago. There we go. Thank you. Sorry. And then it's ours to accept. Nobody can accept it for us. It is a gift that we can choose to give ourselves. We can consciously accept it. And I love that idea. I love that idea that right now, at any moment, we all have exactly what we need to go within, to be, just to be, and allow that to express in the world. Because what is ours to do? Celeste says this much more eloquently than I do, but what is ours to do is to stay awake, to be aware, to make sure that we've ignited that spiritual vibration to the highest level possible in any given situation. To carefully tend to our own thoughts and our own emotions. To allow ourselves to be energized and renewed. And then Spirit gets to fix everybody else. It's really not our job. We don't need to fix them. We don't need to impress them. We don't need to worry about them. We just get to love them. And that's it. Our call is to be steady, peaceful beacons in any storm. And we have what we need to do that. We can be that nurturing connection that the world needs. So, a couple of ideas on how we do that. Well, we begin each day in silence. Be still and know that I am God. before the rush begins, just to be still and breathe and allow some gratitude for like breathing. This as a daily practice will allow that divine to start our day. Martin Luther King Jr. famously began his days with prayer and meditation, and he said that when he anticipated a difficult day, he doubled it. Ernest Holmes he would get up, get coffee, go back to his room for an hour every morning before he did a spiritual practice. Other thing we can do is we can speak our word with love out loud. Ernest Holmes, the vibration of spirit in us is released through our word. What would day look like if we were talking to people about how blessed we were to have them in our lives? Encouragement, affirmations, compliments. If we remembered how much energy our word carries, if we could remember that, we would speak words of encouragement and love. We would be patient, and we would be respectful. And lastly, we can ask each spirit each morning, what is mine to do today? What is mine to do today? Eckhart Tolle. The only thing that counts is what is alive right here and right now within you. What is mine to do today? And it's not grocery shopping or paying bills or it's all yours to do, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, okay, what is my heart willing to do today? And set an intention for simple acts of kindness, for forgiveness, for being present. Studies have shown that people who set soulful intentions daily are much more likely to act from a place of peace and purpose. So when we speak our truth, when we speak our words, we can do so from a place of compassion. True compassion. We can stop and ask before we say something, is this my ego speaking? Are my words going to hurt or harm anyone, or are they loving and supportive? We can check our motivation. Am I acting out of judgment? Or am I acting out of my truth? And when I'm speaking, am I building bridges or am I building walls? It's much more difficult and pleasant to build the bridge. Because spirit-ignited words hold so much more energy and more love. And that's what it's ours to do. It's not ours to control it, fix it, judge it. Ernest Holmes reminds us, love points the way and the law makes the way possible. Don't you love that? Love points the way. As long as we keep our thoughts on the high road, as long as we remember that we're traveling on the shoulders of giants, the way becomes much easier. So last week, it's time for your assignment. Last week, Jeff provided you a covenant with your God self. And we've got more copies here today, if you didn't grab one, or if you would like a second one. And the idea is that, what am I willing to get rid of? What habit is mine to get rid of right now, to let go of? And then what is my new truth? Let this be our own declaration of personal independence and empowerment. Let us set that intention daily of what is mine to do and then to do it. Final declaration of truth. Join me in saying these. My words are kind, my silence is sacred, my inner fire lights my path. I walk this world as a living declaration of love in action. And so it is.